Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into literally the biggest decision you're going to make in dropshipping. We're talking about picking your platform and, more importantly, building the actual operational infrastructure to survive it. You know, this isn't just a basic where to sell conversation. It's about defining your entire risk profile and your profit ceiling right from day one. Let's get into it.
Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the infrastructure divide, move into Amazon's volume and risk, then look at eBay being easy but squeezed, and Shopify where you own your asset. Finally, we'll hit the manual scaling bottleneck and wrap up with the enterprise automation solution.
Section 1. The infrastructure divide. Closed marketplaces versus independent storefronts.
All right, so here is the ultimate trade-off in dropshipping. Think of Amazon and eBay like rented digital real estate. The huge perk? Built-in commercial search intent. You've got millions of buyers with their credit cards already out ready to buy right now. But the catch is you are operating entirely under their strict rules, and they can suspend you literally overnight. On the flip side, we have Shopify. Here, you're the landlord. You build and own the asset completely, which means zero unexpected bans. But, and this is a massive but, the traffic is based entirely on disruptive social intent. You have to interrupt someone scrolling on TikTok and actually pay to bring that traffic in yourself. So, you're either renting where the traffic is free but strictly governed, or you own it and buy every single visitor.
Section 2. Amazon, volume and risk. The giant traffic hose and the compliance trap.
Okay, so imagine this. You just hunted down a fantastic product, you got yourself listed as a seller, and you just won the coveted Amazon buy box. You know that magical little button that captures over 80% of sales? Boom! You just landed a $50 sale.
Well, let's break down the math behind that big win. From that $50 initial sale, you instantly subtract about $7.50 in referral fees, which typically run between 8 and 15%. Then, you subtract another $3 to $10 for FBA fulfillment fees. That leaves you with only $32 to $39, and hey, that's before you've even paid your supplier or accounted for any ads. So the real takeaway here? You're operating on razor-thin profit margins of maybe 10 to 15% max. To actually survive on Amazon, you absolutely have to sell at a massive volume.
But here's the hidden landmine, guys. The compliance bottleneck. Amazon has a brutally strict seller of record policy. If you're sourcing products from retailers without wholesale agreements, basically doing unauthorized retail arbitrage, Amazon is going to catch it. Your company name absolutely must appear on all shipping documentation and wholesale invoices. If you aren't clearly listed as the seller of record, you'll get hit with instant tracking bans and your account will be suspended just like that.
Section 3. eBay, easy but squeezed. Low barriers to entry with compressed profit margins.
So the massive appeal for beginners here is super simple. Zero upfront monthly fees. There's no professional seller gatekeeping you have to get past, and the algorithm will even temporarily boost your fresh listings just to test their performance out.
However, that easy entry comes at a pretty steep price. Let's look at that same $50 sale, but on eBay. You've got insertion fees of 35 cents per listing after your first 250, plus a final value fee of 13.25%, plus another 30 to 40 cents per order. By the end of it, that $50 sale is costing you $7 to $8 in fees alone. And because it's so incredibly easy to join, you're dealing with intense race-to-the-bottom pricing wars. You've got buyers who will fiercely haggle over 50 cents, just squeezing every last drop of profit right out of your business.
And that brings us to the real hidden landmine on eBay, the VeRO program, or the Verified Rights Owner program. If you're a dropshipper and you're blind sourcing branded goods, think brands like Nike, without direct wholesale invoices, brand lawyers are going to file automated intellectual property claims against you. And eBay, they don't take you to court to investigate, they just instantly nuke your listing. If you do that too often, your account is completely destroyed before you even get off the ground.
Section 4. Shopify. Owning your asset. High-margin asset building with zero free traffic.
All right, here is the harsh reality of independence. You own your brand, your customer data, your pixel data, and your pricing power. You're definitely not fighting those 50-cent price wars anymore. But Shopify will not bring you a single customer. With zero built-in traffic, you have to become an absolute master of digital marketing. You literally have to hunt down every single sale yourself.
So while the basic subscription fees seem pretty cheap at first glance, ranging from $29 to maybe $299 a month, your true financial burden completely shifts. Your real cost is customer acquisition. You should expect to spend anywhere between $500 and $5,000 or even more
per month on paid ads across Facebook, TikTok, or Google. Realistically, acquiring a customer is going to cost you $15 to $40. Think about that. If you sell a product for $40 and it costs you $40 in ads just to get that customer, you are losing money.
When we compare these platforms side by side, the trade-offs become incredibly clear. Amazon brings 100% organic internal traffic, but you face extreme price competition and a very high risk of getting banned. eBay offers high algorithmic organic traffic, but again, high price competition and a high ban risk thanks to VeRO. Then you have Shopify, which requires 100% paid traffic, but offers low price competition because you're actually adding brand value, and the best part? Absolutely zero account ban risk.
Section 5. The manual scaling bottleneck. Why manual operations lead to account death.
You know, hitting 10 to 15 orders per day might feel like a massive success. Time to pop the champagne, right? Actually, hold off on that. This number right here is the highly dangerous tipping point where manual operations become mathematically impossible to maintain.
So what really happens when you hit 15 orders a day and you're still copying and pasting data by hand? Let's take a look at how this can actually cause a thriving business to rapidly implode.
It's basically a cascading failure. Step 1. Inventory stockouts. You're busy doing admin work, your supplier runs dry, but your listing is still up and active. A customer buys it, you're forced to cancel the order, and bam, your seller metrics are destroyed. Step 2. Price fluctuations. Suppliers silently raise their costs. You don't catch it in time, and suddenly you sold 20 units at a $5 loss per unit. Ouch. Step 3. Tracking red flags. In the rush of doing things manually, you make entry errors or your supplier uses a tracking format Amazon just doesn't recognize. This triggers immediate account reviews and payment holds.
Section 6. The Enterprise Automation Solution. Using software to outpace the bottlenecks.
This is where software becomes absolutely non-negotiable. Platforms like Easy solve these exact vulnerabilities for you. They provide 24/7 price and stock monitoring, which automatically modifies your listings the second supplier metrics change. They also offer hands-free order fulfillment, which saves you from the mind-numbing torture of manually copying and pasting. And crucially, tracking conversion technology. It literally transforms unrecognized tracking numbers from your suppliers into verified formats that keep Amazon and eBay's validation systems happy, completely preventing those devastating account bans. Plus, they use a data-driven analytics engine surfing millions of data points to find verified demand, so you're not just guessing what might sell.
As you build your dropshipping empire, the platform you choose at the beginning undeniably dictates your rules of engagement. But I want to leave you with this provocative thought. As you grow, is your operational infrastructure genuinely built to handle scale, or are you just manually steering your business towards an inevitable crash? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning into this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.